So we split our work into researching the PSQL and database triggers and working on the presentation. So you can see the delegation of the work here. Our team members are Dara McCaffrey, Connor Brennan, Antonia Bucklers, Hao Cheng, Kipan Yim, Safwat Islam, and Matthias Hayes. So the first of the two topics that we want to talk about is PLSQL, and this first link provides an excellent introduction into the topic. So we chose this because it explains what PLSQL is, why you want to learn it, the difference between the different flavors of SQL and PLSQL, and then it gives a good guide on how to create PLSQL functions and to use SQL and PLSQL together to use DBMS systems. And then finally it explains how to use different editors and IDEs to develop PLSQL systems and programs. So then after learning a bit about PLSQL, we chose this link because it provides a good style guide for how to structure your PLSQL programs. So this guide talks about how to design modular and maintainable PLSQL code. It goes through some different concepts in PLSQL, like the use of anchored data types, how to optimize some common SQL queries, how to use control flow within PLSQL, and how to organize your PLSQL code so that it's easy to maintain and expand on in the future. So the second topic are database triggers. This first link that we chose is a brief introduction to database triggers. It defines what database triggers are. It shows you the syntax, how to create database triggers, and a brief explanation of why you might want to use them. It then compares and contrasts some of the different types of database triggers and gives use cases for each of the different ones. Our next link goes through some of the advantages and disadvantages of SQL triggers. SQL triggers can be quite useful in that they perform repetitive tasks on events in your database, but at the same time this can be a disadvantage because they can be quite hard to debug as you're not sure when the trigger fires or what it's doing. So it demonstrates some of the differences between triggers and stored procedures, which are a separate concept. And then lastly, we chose this link that talks about the performance of triggers and how to improve their performance. So there's an introduction to some key concepts around database triggers, such as the cascading trigger and the mutating table error. And then the guide goes through the performance of database triggers with real-world examples. So it'll insert several thousand rows into a database and show how triggers can help improve performance. And then finally it goes through how to improve the performance of your database triggers using caching, how to cache the database triggers and their actions, and how to cache any SQL statements that are used within the database triggers. Thank you.